there! Welcome to another Star Wars Shatterpoint video. Hello AOS fans, Robin here. In this video I'm going to be looking at a couple of the most recent AMG Databank downloads, although there's probably one imminent as I'm recording this, but I'm going to look at Ventress and Ahsoka, and I'm going to try and compare and contrast the two, rather than doing a couple of different videos where I basically regurgitate what they've said, which I think is probably of limited interest to me giving it and you listening to it. I'm going to try and compare the two and see whether we can gain any sense of which is going to be stronger on the battlefield. I must confess it's not my area of super expertise, but let's have a little look and see how we get on. Both fighters are primary units, and they're much of a muchness. They both contribute 8 squad points, and they both contribute 3 force points. If you remember, with squad points, the higher the number, that gives you more to buy other units from the other squads for the rest of your squad. So that kind of means the higher the number, the weaker the primary unit. So they're not as strong as Anakin. Neither of them are as strong as Anakin, and as a result, they only give 3 force points compared with his 4. But which is the best of the two? I think it's a little bit difficult to tell without obviously having played the game. I feel like on paper Ventress feels stronger than Ahsoka to me, but I think that might just be because I think Ahsoka requires a bit more nuance in the way she's played. She's a bit more of a supporting role to try and get the best out of other units. And of course, that seeing those other units, it's quite hard to tell how much sort of what the Ahsoka's utility brings us. Ventress, she's got a lot of mobility, and we'll see how that pans out. She can hit quite hard, but then so can Ahsoka, and then neither of them can hit as hard as Anakin. But I think Ventress is a bit more out and out attacky and just generally a bit nastier than Ahsoka, which you probably expect because she is a sort of they're both force wielders, but Ventress is a Sith apprentice. Keyword wise, Ahsoka only has, pretty much, they both got Force user. So Ahsoka's not a Jedi, which you'd expect, as she's Jedi no more, but she only has Galactic Republic as her keyword, so she's only going to synergize with those Galactic Republic units, whereas Ventress not only has, I think, she has Force user, and she has Separatist Alliance, she also has Dathomirian and Night Sister, and we're going to be looking forward now to that Savage Opress box with the Night Sisters in it, and so I think there's going to be some lovely shenanigans there and some synergies, and maybe probably she'll be able to synergise with Maul as well. So I think she's got a bit more flexibility. Maybe she's probably going to fit into more builds, perhaps, and we will see how many other Galactic units come. I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of Galactic Republic units out there for Ahsoka to join in with. So maybe that's just why the Ventress has the extra keywords. Both of them have got a Force 1 and a Force 2 power ability. I don't know whether that's going to be standard, because Anakin's also got a 1 Force point power and a 2 Force point power. I don't know whether they're all going to have at least 1 2 Force point power. Ahsoka's 2 power ability is reactive, whereas Ventress's can use her. So Ahsoka's perhaps a little bit weaker in that respect, as she can't pick when she uses it. However, it is a very good ability. Ahsoka's 1 point ability is Force Speed, that basically enables her to make an extra move, whereas Ventress's is Dathomirian Dexterity. Each character in this unit may make a jump, so it's not quite as versatile as a move, but she can actually do it more than once in a turn, so she can do it twice. So most abilities can be used once per turn, and she can actually jump twice, which is pretty nifty, especially as she has a way of triggering extra action abilities, so that she jumping about and then getting another jump is going to be really strong to her. Her Force Push, her 2 Force point ability, really strong. Again, it's not reactive, as I said. She can do it anytime. She can choose a character in this unit and an enemy character within 3 of that character and push them up to 3 away. So that's pretty strong, I think. Again, we'll see as we go through this. Ventress is about moving people away from objectives and then using her extra movement to jump onto them or to move onto them. So she's pretty strong, I think. Ahsoka's 2 Force point ability is strong too. What's the matter? Too Fast for You, it's called, which is probably one of the longest titles I've seen in the game yet. When a character in this unit would take damage from a melee attack, this unit may use this ability, and the unit suffers half the damage from the damage pool, which is pretty strong in itself because it cuts the damage down. But the attacker suffers the remaining damage. So assuming there's no shenanigans in there, you're effectively going to split it in half, and you're going to take half damage back. So if you're got a hit by I don't know what damage Maul's going to put out. They said Maul's going to be a powerhouse. If he hits you for 10 damage, say, then you can do 5 of it back. You're going to think twice about trying to hit Ahsoka with your strong melee fighters. It might actually have to go with the weaker ones, although of course it's going to take longer to get them down. Maybe you're going to shoot her, but she has got the innate or the reactive deflect ability, enabling her to deflect damage back. If you've got a miss, one or more miss results in your shooting attack, then your ranged attack, then she suffers the unit suffers 2 damage. So that's really strong. So she's going to be hard to kind of pin down. Whether you're shooting at her or whether you're engaging in melee combat, she's got ways of damaging you sort of against the run of play, as it were. And their innate abilities, I think, are comparable too. For raw power, Ventress is the strongest, I think. Her innate ability is Sith Assassin. When a character in this unit wounds an enemy unit, after the effect is resolved, that character may heal 3. If it wounded a primary unit or a secondary unit, it can also move or jump. And if it wounded a primary unit, it can refresh 2 force points. So it's really strong. I think wounding is when you've taken their stamina all the way down to 0. So they're not going to kick in all the time, otherwise it'll be incredibly powerful. But it's still a really great way. If you're attacking primary units, can force them down, then you get you can get those 2 force points back. So effectively you can do another force push, or maybe another force push because you only do it once. But you're replenishing the pool for the rest of your units as well to go around. Force points are going to be a scarce commodity, so anything that can regenerate them is going to be strong. Ahsoka's Fierce Protector, in comparison, is like the opposite of that. So whereas Ventress kind of like it's kind of dark sidey, isn't it? She's causing pain and wounding and hatred or whatever, and that spurs her on to do things and to regain extra force, sort of dark side force points, if you like. Ahsoka's Fierce Protector, when an enemy character wounds another allied unit, or after the effect is resolved, one character in this unit may move towards the enemy character that caused the effect. Then the character that moved may heal, or if that character is engaged with the enemy character, it may make a 5 dice attack targeting that enemy character. So I just want to clarify at some point exactly what wounding is. I think wounding is when you go below, your stamina drops to 0, then you take a wound. I don't think wounding is just taking stamina damage. And just having a quick look at their stats, they both have 9 stamina and 3 durability. So basically they can be taken down, take 9 damage before they lose a wound. And they've got 3 wounds each. 3 seems to be standard. Anakin's is 3 as well. So Fierce Protector is really quite nice, and it is kind of all about Ahsoka, isn't it? She's there, she's supporting her troops. She feels the pain of the clones, and she'll help them out at all costs, and that's why she's a Fierce Protector, as opposed to Ventress, on the other hand, who basically just wants to kill or cause as much mayhem and damage as possible. So I really like those 2 aspects of both fighters there. Let's have a little look at their stance cards. So offensively, Ventress is going to be chucking more dice, though if you might notice the Form 2 Makashi stance, I wish they had slightly more easy to say stances, or that I knew how to say them stances. It's got a compact track. It's only got 4 pips on it. She rolls 7 dice. I don't know how likely. I haven't worked out the odds and things of how likely it is. I mean, because obviously you can get extra pluses, extra hits from your expertise as well. Haven't worked out the odds of what it is of getting more than 4 hits when you're rolling 7 dice. It doesn't feel that high, so maybe it's okay. But you compare with Ahsoka's, who's got 5, and some of the other tracks are 5 or 6. You might end up wasting dice. Remember, if you go all the way along the track, you can't use the extra dice anywhere. They're wasted. Whether that be an issue for Ventress, I'm not sure. I don't really feel like it will at the moment, but we haven't seen how combat works, and we haven't seen the weaker fighters to see how they're gonna work out against her. So defensively, Ahsoka's a little bit stronger. Her expertise track is a little bit better. She rolls more defense dice than Ventress does when she's using her reverse grip stance. But actually, for the Jarkai stance, she actually rolls fewer dice than Ventress does. But she's still, she's still pretty defensive. She's got good defensive expertise charts to help her get extra blocks better than Ventress's is. If you do a straight comparison of the expertise charts, Ahsoka's are better. They're more solid. She's more solid. She's got the opportunity to reduce crits down to to ordinary hits, and she's got extra blocks as well, which Ventress just doesn't have. Ventress, interestingly, can convert a hit into a miss, which means that she can then use her riposte. So if you were unfortunate enough to get somebody who hit you all the time, but you got some defensive expertise, so they say they hit with all their dice, but you had some defensive expertise, you could convert one of those into a miss, and then you could get your riposte off. So that dovetails nicely there with her other abilities. So offensively, they both have very similar damage outputs. They're both quite flexible. They both have different routes you can pick through, and some are very sort of damage focused, more damage focused, and they can both pack 6 damage with a reasonable dice roll. And or you can pick a more flexible one which does more movement shenanigans, and they both have different opportunities to do things like disarm, or add some other conditions like disarm or expose. And Ahsoka's got some healing in there as well, and I think Ventress has some healing too. So they've got different shenanigans, and you can pick your way through. Ventress perhaps has the most interesting thing. She can actually, on either stance, she can actually trigger an ability on that. If she gets 4 successes or 4 hits, she can move across. And both tracks have opportunities to give her extra actions. Could be really strong. As I say, you've got that possibility of an extra force push, so you might be able to force push somebody away, get them off the objective or something like that. So you've got some good shenanigans there, which I quite like. I feel like extra actions is very strong. Action economy is always very strong in this type of game, and it just feels like being able to trigger that extra action can be really useful, especially she can use one of them twice as well. Obviously, you've got to have the force points as well to trigger it, but it just feels like that to me gives Ventress the edge. Now, as I said at the beginning, I'm not the best at picking this kind of thing, and I sort of feel like she's more combative, more aggressive, and I think when you don't really know how to play a game, and when you're first looking at it, the stronger, more aggressive characters just feel better because their effects are more obvious. Ahsoka is more of a supporting role. She's got some healing. She can sort of move up when units are in danger and support them. And I kind of feel like that's hard to get a feel without having ever played the game. Hard to get a feel of how it's going to work. So she may well turn out to be stronger than Ventress, but on first glance, for a novice, Ventress feels a little bit maybe easier to play. Having said that, she's got a lot of different movement tricks. She's got sort of jumps and pushes and things. So she's not out and out just, I'm just going to charge in and attack, fight. I think you're going to be looking at Maul for things like that. She has got nuance and subtlety, and I think where you push people to, where you can gain those extra moves to pinch those objectives is going to be key to winning games with Ventress. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it useful. It's the first one I've done, and I think obviously as I do more, I see more characters get more of an idea how the game's going to gel together. And once in a couple of months' time now only, we might get to start playing, and then I really will see how these characters compare with one another. So let me know if there's anything else you want to see in these videos, what you enjoy and what you don't enjoy, and I'll see you soon somewhere on the Agents of Sigmar. Bye for now. Bye!